now listening to Chop Talk by the fan, for the fan.
And we're back, Braves Country, for another episode of Chop Talk by the fan, for the fan. I'm your host, Bailey.
I'm Ethan.
And before we get started today, we want to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day weekend. This is a very, very big holiday for the year. We want to wish everyone a happy weekend. Hope everybody's being safe, and we want to thank those in our armed forces of our nation who have given the ultimate sacrifice for us to be able to live in this free country. So hope everybody's doing well. We've got a lot of good stuff going on for the episode. So let's go ahead and get on into it. Not the best week for the Braves. 1-4 this week. That hurts when you put it into perspective like that.
It's been miserable to watch, dude. It's been terrible. I mean, went into the week, winning record, and now we're back 2 games under 500.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about Game 1 the other night, but I would like to throw in to Game 1 that Ozzie Albies got his 983rd career hit in Game 1 of the Washington series, becoming the second baseman in Braves history with the most hits. So, Good for him.
Yep.
He's been seeing the ball well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, most of the team hasn't.
Yeah, that's right. And that's something kind of what we're going to hit on a lot this episode is what it boils down to, and that's the offense. And on paper, that should not be the problem for this team.
It shouldn't be, but it's the worst part of our team.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the entire offseason, we continue to talk about where are we getting starting pitchers to replace Max Fried and Charlie Morton? When are we going to get a reliever to replace A.J. Minter, Tyler Matzik, those kind of guys. We were worried so much about the pitching, and the pitching is posting the 14th best ERA in the league, and we're one good game away from being in the top 10. So right now, pitching's not the problem. It's the offense. And it's not only just been unproductive, it's at times been kind of hard to watch. Not just overall after games, seeing the box score of how many hits we've gotten, but just sometimes with runners in scoring position.
I'm just at the point where sometimes I feel like we get a guy on second, and I'm just like, well, he's not scoring. It really just depends on the day.
It's easy to feel that way. It's very easy to feel that way sometimes.
And we have the same exact lineup, minus a few. Mm-hmm. Now, we got, obviously, we'll get into that, but Ronnie's back. Acuña Jr.'s back.
La Bastilla.
La Bastilla. But before that, even leading up into Friday's game, the only really new additions we've had, Verdugo, Baldwin, and Eli White. For the most part, that's 3 of 9. For the other 6, it's been the heart of what we've had forever.
Yeah.
Well, no, Nick Allen too. But
Nick Allen as well.
But either way, for the most part, some of the best bats in the league for a team that's been one of the best hitting teams for a while.
Yeah.
And just falling off.
Yeah. It's pretty aggravating. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty discouraging. We know how well Matt Olson, Marcell Ozuna, Austin Riley, Michael Harris, Ozzie Albies, we know how well they can hit. We've seen them hit very well, every single one of them by themselves. So to be sitting here and to be talking about the reason we're not a winning club consistently is because of the offense. It is in a way discouraging, but also it gives me hope because
we can get it back together.
We know these guys are going to get it together.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, Olsen and Albies are doing the best they can to get it back together.
Tearing it up.
As of today, Ozzie extended his hit streak to 11 games.
11 games. Phenomenal.
Olsen, after yesterday's game, now has 5 homers in the last 7 games.
Yep.
So they've been picking it up.
Yep.
But just the problem is they're not quality hits.
No.
And, we'll touch on that a little more, especially in today's game, about the difference between quality hits and the score.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just our problem has not been quality hits. We've hit the ball.
Yeah.
But it hasn't mattered when we've hit the ball because most of the time we're hitting the ball with 2 outs.
Yep. Or we're getting a base hit and then doing nothing else with it.
Yeah.
So and that's what goes into hitting is not just hitting for a base hit, but it's also situational hitting, situational approach, doing a job for the guy that's on base for your team. But let's go into where we left off in episode 8. We had a rainout game
Wednesday
with the Nationals, so that game's been postponed later into the season. So we played only on Thursday against the Nationals away. So we're down 0-1 to the Nats going into Thursday's game, and AJ Smith-Shawver,
he just didn't have it.
Just didn't have it. He struggled early, and that's probably the biggest thing that we had seen from him so far this year was a lot of his struggles come early. Unlike a lot of other guys, he struggles early. He doesn't struggle late in the game when he's tired or he starts to get hit around or he's going the third time through the lineup. He struggles to get settled in when he does struggle. I'm not saying this every time, but just if he does struggle, it's likely early in the game.
And struggle he did. He pitched 3 full innings, tried to start the 4th, didn't make it to the 4th.
Nope.
But through the innings he did pitch, he had 8 hits, 3 walks, and 4 runs scored.
Yep.
And we've talked about Snitker a lot, obviously, and just some of the things he's doing. And we ain't gonna go easy on him tonight. But we've talked about pulling people. We need to pull people. Well, he pulled him. He pulled him in the 4th inning. He did.
Halfway through an at-bat.
Halfway through an at-bat, a 2-0 count. Like this is Little League, and you're going to go out there and pull a pitcher with a 2-0 count.
I don't understand that. Majority of the time when you see somebody in the college, minor league, professional level, you're going to see someone being pulled mid-count when there's an injury. The rest of the game, I was waiting to hear something about some discomfort, or he had signaled to the dugout saying, "Hey, I'm hurt, I can't go," but I never heard that. So I don't understand why you pull a guy with a 2-0 count.
Yeah, we're now 3 games removed from that game, and still have yet to hear nothing. So he just genuinely pulled a dude with a 2-0 count in the majors.
I mean, you screwed Bummer by having him come in mid-count, 2-0. He battled the count, but eventually the guy walked, which that walk was credited to AJ Smith-Shawver. But still, that was in the 4th inning. Prior to the 4th inning, in the first 3 innings, the 3 full innings he pitched, he gave up 7 hits?
8 hits.
8 hits total?
8 hits total.
7 before the 4th, because the leadoff runner and the leadoff hitter in the 4th got a hit. So 7 hits in the first 3 innings. AJ's problem Thursday night was not his command. He was throwing strikes. He just got hit.
Yeah.
So, props to the Nationals. They were swinging early in the count. They just hit the ball.
That's what they did that whole series.
AJ just didn't have it.
He did.
So, that kind of, in my opinion, that should go into your thought process. Okay, are they getting base runners because he's struggling to find the zone, or are they getting base runners because they're just hitting the ball? If they're hitting the ball, it's clear they're just going to keep hitting it. I mean,
and I tried to.
That's kind of up in the air, but
yeah. And I tried to sit there and be like, well, he had an extra day of rest that he wasn't scheduled for, and that could have threw him out of his rhythm, and just pre-game routine basically for the 5 games in between.
Yeah.
That he doesn't throw.
Yeah.
He's got his throwing routine, everything he does, and I was like, okay, maybe that just messed him up and got him up. So I watched Sale start the next night. No. Because Sale had no problems.
Well, and you also got to remember the Nationals pitcher had to wait that same day of rest as well.
Exactly.
I mean, so it was for both sides.
He just had a bad night is all it boiled down to. And Snitker just left him out there too long.
Yeah, me personally, we saw him getting hit early. We saw him struggle to get out. We saw him get hit early in the count. And I'm not saying this just because this is what happened. You can go back and look at our messages that we were sending to each other back and forth through the game. Once he comes off the mound in the 3rd inning, I'm going bullpen.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going bullpen. I'm sorry. He's getting hit. It's just not his night. It is what it is. It is what it is. Pull him. keep the offense at bay for the Nationals, and try to get the win. And the offense battled back.
They did.
The offense battled back, and the bullpen did not give up a single run once AJ left the mound, except for the 10th inning.
And me and you talked about that, and that's another problem where I blame that on Snitker, because in the international rules, you got to start with a guy on second base.
Yeah.
I can't stand it, but it is what it is, what the MLB went to.
Uh-huh.
When you're the away team, you have to bunt that guy over
I think you
to
have
third base.
You have to get that run.
You have to, because if who was up?
Baldwin led off, fly ball to center.
Yeah, they should have bunted Baldwin.
I don't care how good you're in.
No, who was our guy on second? Verdugo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Verdugo was on second. Baldwin, bunt him. Give Verdugo to third, because then I'll be single the next at bat. Would have scored him, but instead he's on third, and then we don't score a run. But guess what? The Nationals came up. They did that exact thing. Sack bunt, then a single, scored the guy, walked it off.
Yep.
That's what you have to do in these when you start with a guy on second. You have to play small ball.
Yeah.
Get him to third, because then a hit or a deep fly ball scores him. And then the home team, if you're the away team, now has to score 2 to walk it off. If not, send it into the next. You have to score.
I'm going to be honest with you, from my personal preference, the only time, whether I'm the home team or the away team, the only time me as a coach that I'm not bunting that guy on second is if I'm the home team and the away team put up 2 runs.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm the away team, I'm bunting.
Yeah.
If I'm the home team and it's tied, I'm bunting. If I'm the home team and I'm down by 1, I'm bunting. Either way, that runner on second is highly, highly significant to the outcome of that game. And the only time I'm not bunting him over is if I'm the home team and the away team just put up 2 runs or more. Because now you got to hit.
Yeah, now you got to hit.
You just got to hit the ball.
And in the Braves lineup that night, the only person in the lineup I would not bunt is Ozuna, just because he can't bunt.
Yeah, just because he can't bunt. Not because I wouldn't want him to. He just can't do it.
He just can't do it. So maybe pinch hit for him, but I doubt it. I don't want to pinch hit for him.
Doubt it.
But we got to play better small ball, and that just falls on Snitker. Yes, Dylan Lee ended up going a third of an inning and giving up the walk-off run, but that's because they played the international rules the way you need to play them to win ball games.
I mean,
they played it perfectly. That's not on him.
Oh, you think about it like this, he faced 2 batters.
Yeah, he faced 2 batters.
A run scored that's credited to him that he didn't allow on base.
Exactly.
How well does he sleep at night? Probably pretty good. Yes, it goes to him. Yes, he knew his job was to limit that runner. He didn't allow that runner to get on base. That's why I hate that rule. It's not true baseball. You're essentially giving them a run that they didn't earn. And yes, they scored a guy on second that they were given that we did not. So technically, did they earn it more than we did? Yes, they did. But that's just a rule that I don't like. And for the next 60, 70 years or however long I live, I'm always going to hate that rule. That's just my personal opinion about it. But that game was, the Nationals hit the ball.
We hit the ball.
We came back and hit the ball, and they made better decisions than we did. That's what it boils down to.
And then we proceed to go back-to-back nights of Snitker making calls that cost us the ball game.
Yep.
We roll into Friday's game.
Another night of Chris Sale pitching a gem. I feel like a lot of these episodes mention a lot about how well Chris Sale pitches, and we can't give him run support.
This is his, I think, third 2-1 loss now. Third 2-1 loss on the season.
Yep. And to make it even more significant, that 2-1 loss came after.
He's not credited with that loss, actually.
That's right.
He's not credited with that loss. No, he's
but
not. It's Iglesias.
Iglesias, yeah, that's right. I'm thinking of Friday.
Yeah.
Or no, Thursday. I'm sorry.
Thursday.
Yeah. But yeah, but not only was it a 2-1 loss that we couldn't give Chris Sale any run support, but it was the first game back in a calendar season for the best player in the major leagues.
Ronald Acuña Jr.
Ronald Acuña Jr. La Bestia.
And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. We've talked about it a lot. It was a fairy tale story. fairy tale story.
Yeah, something you'd see in a movie. You can't make it up. Can't put it on a script.
Full calendar season. He went down last year in game 50. That's the game he went down in last year. Game 50 of the season. 2024. 2025 season, his first game back, game 50. Back in the leadoff spot, bottom of the first, at home. First game back, first pitch he sees.
467.
See you, ball.
Left center field. I would have loved to have been at Truist Park when he hit that ball.
Oh, it had to have been electric. Had to have been electric.
And he knew it. He knew it.
And then the Braves proceeded to not score another run and rest of the game. First pitch of the game, we score a run, don't score again.
Yep.
And then, Chris Sale threw an absolute gem. You can't ask for no more out of him. He threw an absolute gem.
And the one run he gave up was also on a home run. So he made one bad pitch.
Yeah, and to start the 3 quality starts that we had in the Padres season, every starter gave us a quality start.
Yep.
And we went over that with y'all in last episode, but we'll go over it again. What constitutes a quality start is at least 6 innings pitched with no more than 3 earned runs allowed.
Keyword earned runs.
Earned runs. And we'll get into that because of Swelly's start today. But it is earned runs is the key component in that.
So, the common trend I'm seeing here is, and this kind of goes back on AJ's start on Thursday. 7 of the 8 runs the Nationals scored were credited to Smith-Shawver. Okay, well, if they scored the 8th run to walk off the game, that means from the first out in the 4th inning to the last batter of the game in the 10th inning, our bullpen didn't allow a run. Bullpen's been pretty freaking good. We saw a couple hiccups up there in Boston last weekend, but overall, bullpen's been they've been pretty steady. I've been pretty proud of them. Rotation, they've come around. They're throwing very well, quality start after quality start, holding the offense at bay against good teams now. But just the common denominator that we're seeing is the offense. And when you look at the starts and you look at the bullpen numbers, and you look at the games we're playing and the games we're losing, it all boils down to hitting. And Friday night,
we couldn't hit.
We couldn't hit. We could not hit. We could not get a runner in.
And it's like we go every other night with hitting now.
Yeah.
We hit Thursday, didn't hit Friday. We hit yesterday, didn't hit today.
Yep. The one of the hits that we did get on Friday though was we got Verdugo leads off the night with a single.
Yeah.
Eli White gets to second after he comes in to pitch run. Tyron runs on second base. Ozzie always steps up. It's a base hit that we've seen for the last week and a half from him. And it was hit solid, but it wasn't hard hit. So it didn't get to the center fielder very quickly. So I'm thinking, okay, Eli White's got speed. We might send him here. Well, I'm jumping up and down cheering, and before I know it, they're tagging him out at second base where he just left. And at first I'm thinking, oh my God, what are we doing? What are we thinking? What's going on? Well, after the game, Eli White was obviously questioned about it. So the way the play happened was Eli White takes his lead at second. Ozzie always hits a base hit in the middle. Eli White goes about 3/4 of the way to third, and for some reason thought the ball was caught, turned around, takes off in a dead sprint going back to second, trying not to get doubled up. The ball comes in from center field, is cut off behind the pitcher's mound. They throw it to second, they tag him out. That gives them the second out of the inning. They got 2 outs with Ozzie on first. Next batter gets out, ball game. After the game, Eli White was questioned about it, and he handled it about as well as a grown man could handle it. About as
he owned up to it.
About as honest and accountable as he could have.
He basically said, "That's on me. I got confused with the sign I thought I was getting from the third base coach. I thought he was telling me that the ball was caught, so I turned around and took off sprinting, and it was my fault that I got the sign wrong." He held up to it. He was accountable, and he said, "That's on me."
Yeah.
He gave no excuse other than I messed up.
Yeah. That stings a little bit because you can't be so mad because mistakes will happen, even though they're professional ball players, even though they're supposed
human.
to be the best in the world, they're still human.
Yeah, they're
They're
human.
going to make mistakes. If he makes a base running mistake, I promise you, Marcell Ozuna is going to strike out at least one time this year. They're going to make mistakes. So yeah, it hurt in the spot of the game that we were in because that's you're thinking, okay, we just got a base hit. This guy's rounding third right now. We're about to score to. Oh my gosh! Now he just got thrown out, going back to second.
And that'll put us up 2-1 in that game.
That tied at 2-2.
No.
Yeah.
Was that the bottom of 9?
That was bottom 9. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I
Yeah.
didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got my innings wrong there.
Yeah. So
Oh, wow.
we were down 2-1 whenever this happened. So that would have tied the game. But
We
the reason we were down 2-1.
Oh gosh. So let's start off we'll start off with how well Sale threw today.
Yeah, let's get into that.
Through Friday, because we have not talked about that yet. Sale threw an absolute gem of a game. 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 4 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, and another quality start by him. Threw amazing.
Looked
And
really
then
good
Days Bell came in
through the 8th.
and threw the 8th, and he gave up no runs. He didn't give up anything. Days Bell does what Days Bell does, and that's what he has done all season long for us. He came in, 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. No one scored. That's what you want. Cool, you give up a base runner or 2, fine. Did anybody cross the plate? No. No worries.
That's right.
Iglesias. Me and you were talking beforehand, and we were saying, please don't go to Iglesias. Please don't go. They go to Iglesias. And what does Iglesias do? Gives up a homer.
First batter he sees.
First batter gives up a homer. Now we're down 2-1. Seen it time and time and time again that he's going to give up a run.
Well, and someone that's listening to this might try to play devil's advocate to that and say, well, look at who hit the home run. Manny Machado, one of the best players in the league. Before Friday, he had hit 3 home runs this year. 3. 1, 2, 3. That's not a lot. So, he's not been crushing the ball. He's hitting below 280 going into Friday. So, why be afraid of him? Yes, he's a great hitter. But my question is, you're in a tie ball game in the 9th inning. Why in the world, time after time, have we seen Iglesias give up runs in crucial moments and we're still sending him on the bump? Why are we still doing that?
Because, again, it goes back to Snitker. He's got it in his head what he's going to do, and he's just not going to change it. And he has cost us ball game after ball game after ball game. That's back-to-back games. His managerial style cost us ball games.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody can harp on what Eli White got caught. No. We shouldn't have been down 2-1 in that. That should have walked off the ball game. We both knew before it happened that Iglesias was going to screw it up. We've seen it. We would love for Iglesias to be what Iglesias normally is. He just doesn't have it this season. Or maybe not for the whole season, but just right now, he doesn't have it. And we are tired of watching our games be lost because we're trying to keep giving a guy who we are 50 games into the season now.
52 after today.
52 after today.
To be exact.
To be exact. That just does not have the stuff to be a closer right now.
No.
Maybe for another team, but not for the Atlanta Braves.
No. And I think part of that goes back to we're almost 10 games down. Mm-hmm. And that's in the division. In the wild card, we're not even in the wild card right now. So we're a third of the way through the season. Yes, we can blame some of our hardships on the offense. But at the same time, you have to step back and look at, okay, we're not hitting well right now. we're going to score between 3 and 5 runs a game. To win games with that amount of offensive productivity, you have to make the right call for your pitchers to limit the other team's runs. And to me, I don't think going Iglesias there is the proper mindset.
It's not. But in his mind, he said, oh, that was the right call. And he was real quick to throw Eli White under the bus. His little smart comment he made after the game.
Yeah. I mean, talking about when the third base coach is down the line holding his hand up, that normally signal that's normally a signal that the ball is down and you should be rounding third and picking up the coach. Okay, thank you for your sarcasm. Thank you for something that anybody that knows baseball already knows. The dude made a mistake, and he owned up to it better than anybody could have ever done. But that comment didn't really sit right with me.
It didn't, especially after the Jared Kelnick stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you got Jared Kelnick who pimped a 320-foot double and got thrown out at second for not hustling. And then,
was I supposed to be upset about that?
Yeah, when asked, did you say anything, your comment is, should I have? But then when you got a guy like Eli White who just made a mental error, but the entire play was hustling his tail off to get back to the bag. And again, he's human. He made a mistake. And then you're going to say something like that. I don't particularly like that.
Sorry about that.
That didn't sit right with me.
And especially after you throw our so-called closer in there to blow the game again, blow the hold, and you're going to put it on Eli White when you made the call to put a guy that has blown many games for us back on the mound in a tight game.
Yeah.
When our offense just hasn't been producing all night since the first pitch.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't understand why we're going to Iglesias there. I don't know what point in the season we're going to see a shift in the rotation of the bullpen. I mean, we're a third of the way through the season. What more does Iglesias have to do to show that he just doesn't have it right now? I mean, what do we got to see? It's been the long ball. So it's not like he's just getting unlucky and the other team is finding holes and getting runs here and there with base hits. They're hitting home runs.
And
what do we got to see?
And I'm pretty sure that was his 10th home run given this year.
I don't know about 10th, but I mean, it's up there. I was wanting to say that might have been 8th. But, I mean, it just, it doesn't sit right with me. I know it doesn't sit right with Ethan. I mean, I'm sorry, but as of right now, if I'm Anthopoulos, the way the season sits, Snitker's not getting a contract next year.
Oh, not at all.
There's no way.
I mean,
there's no way.
We were so fired up the other night. I made the comment, I'm cool with it right now. We need a manager that wants to win ball games.
Yes.
Snitker is not showing that he wants to win ball games.
No.
He's just showing that he just sits there and he's a manager face. That's about it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen him come out the dugout one time this season to argue with an umpire, fire your guys up, let them know you have their back.
Yeah.
He's just sat there joking around with Ryan Kranitz and like, oh, well, what happens, what happens.
Yeah. Essentially, that's pretty much what's going on. But thankfully, Saturday looked a whole lot better. Grant Holmes pitched another quality start for the rotation. 7 inning pitch, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. De Los Santos and Scott Blewett both came on, giving an inning apiece, allowing a total of 3 base runners with no earned runs. Offense looked really good yesterday. 13 hits, 7 runs. Acuña hitting another home run yesterday. So 2 home runs in his first 2 games back. I don't think you could come back any better than Acuña's done.
No, he's doing great. Another guy that had a home run in Saturday's game, Matt Olson. That is his 5th home run in 7 games as of Saturday, making that the 7th game. He's turned it on. He's finally figured it out.
Yep.
Speaking of him, we need to roll back to Chris Sale.
Mm-hmm.
Just guys that have been changing some things up because Olsen's changed some things up and got his back going. But Chris Sale has changed something up, and it's something me and you were talking about a lot in earlier episodes.
Yep.
And just about maybe it's his RPM, maybe it's his arm angle, and
just the way he's throwing.
Yeah, and lo and behold, his arm angle.
Yep.
Read that off to him.
Okay, so in Chris Sale's first 5 starts this season, he had an arm angle of 7 degrees. And throwing from that position, his opponent's batting average was .313. And he posted a 6.17 ERA. Since then, in his last 5 starts, he's changed his arm angle to a 9.3 degree. And from that arm slot, his opponents are batting .241 with a 1.72 ERA. And to put that into perspective of last season, winning the Triple Crown as a pitcher and winning the Cy Young, last season he threw an 11-degree arm angle. So he's moved his arm angle to a lot closer to what he was last year, and it's definitely shown. He's throwing a lot better. He's giving up a lot less hits, therefore a lot less runs, and he's pitching a lot better. He looks so much more comfortable. So props to him. We hope to see him continue to throw well the rest of the year. He's Chris Sale. We know what he's capable of. We know what he's going to keep doing. He's just got to keep going. But Saturday for Matt Olson, like we were saying, looked really good. He's definitely turned it on. He's hitting better. He's up around the 250 mark, like Ethan said. 5 home runs in 7 games. He's looking really good. And the one yesterday was to opposite field, and that just kind of reminds everybody that he's one of those guys that is capable of going the other way at about 380 feet.
He hit that ball, and he hit that ball hard. I believe he has now 12 homers on the season.
He does. That's 12.
So, in 7 games, he's got 5. That means in the last 47, he only had 7. So something has changed with him. Something's clicked. He's figuring it out, and he's getting his power back to be the Matt Olson we know that led the league in homers 2 seasons ago.
That's right.
With 54?
Yes.
54, yeah. 54 home runs in 2023. Can't ask for much more out of the guy. And we talked a lot earlier in the season about just something looked different with his swing. And I think that he has finally gotten it back on plane to Matt Olson style playing. Just swinging a little more up on the ball, creating a better launch angle because he's been hitting the ball hard all season.
Yeah.
It's just most of the time it's been on the ground and he's not been getting the lift out of the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think he's been working. His swing has looked different to me. It looks like he's had more launch angle in his swing. And I think that is
because that is something that we touched on earlier in the year was we were seeing him roll over to the right side a lot.
Constantly.
I mean, very consistently. Like 1 or 2 times a night we were seeing him hit a 2-hopper to the first or second baseman. And I'm not talking like hard hit ground balls. I'm talking like topping it. So we knew that, hey, something's going on. He's not his best. He's not hitting that great. He's just not getting unlucky. He's just not hitting it solid. But he's turned that around. He's hitting good, and we're happy for him. We hope he keeps it up. But now somebody else that's been hitting the ball hard, Drake Baldwin.
Drake Baldwin went 3 for 4. And I'm just going to point out that if y'all go back and listen to episode 1, I made the comment that he had a slow start to the season because he was unlucky.
Yep.
He was hitting the ball hard. And I told Bale, I said, look at his barrel percentage. The dude had the highest barrel percentage in the league. He was just getting unlucky.
Yeah, I had to rush to my laptop to kind of make sure those numbers were right. And I was like, oh my God, he is hitting it hard.
Yeah. Now come back, as of today, he is our best hitter in our lineup. Just absolutely just smoking the baseball. Like I said, 3 for 4 yesterday. And for some reason, for a guy that is now hitting, as of today, he is hitting 340. Y'all mean to tell me y'all don't have enough scouting report on a guy that's obviously hitting the ball a lot to not know that he will go backside
He goes backside a lot.
all the time.
A lot.
He's got 2 homers backside.
Yeah.
All 3 of his hits yesterday were backside.
Yep. Every single one of them. Right behind shortstop.
Yep. And his 3rd hit yesterday was backside, and they had the shift on him.
Yep.
Manny Machado was playing almost at second base and just watches the ball go behind him like, well, dang, I should have been there.
Yeah.
Y'all watch this guy go backside twice on y'all, and y'all gonna shift on him.
Yep.
That just made me laugh.
Yep.
But yes, I would just like to point out that I called from our first episode that Drake Baldwin was going to be raw with a baseball bat. He was going to start finding holes, and he was going to start hitting the ball, and that he has.
And that's kind of a that's good to see from our standpoint, because with Ozzy getting off to a late start, Michael Harris getting off to a late start, that is trying to find it. You know, we see some good signs out of him about every other game. He had a big RBI hit yesterday, but we haven't really seen. We everybody knew when Acuña came back that's going to be our leadoff guy, but we've been struggling to see that consistent bat that was going to be our 2-hole before we got to the power hitters in the middle of the lineup. I think we found it.
In games that Baldwin isn't in and Murph's hitting, I personally think we need to shove Harris to the 2-hole. Because
like
he
that.
hits because that's a righty than a lefty.
Yeah.
And he hit so much better at the beginning of the season when he was leadoff.
That's another thing that
if we were to pull up the splits, he was hitting over 300 leadoff.
Easily.
And when they dropped him down, he has fallen off.
Easily.
He's hitting probably sub, not probably he is because his batting average is now 222. He's hitting sub 200.
Yeah.
Batting lower in the lineup.
Yeah.
And I think that all just comes down with his position in the batting order. I think he hits better higher in the order.
Yep. And not only does that give you a left-handed bat that can hit for average, that gives you a possible guy that can steal, because say Acuña gets on or say Acuña doesn't get on, and if Harris is on, you've got Acuña, Olsen, Riley, 3 guys in a row who are probably going to see right many off-speed pitches. That just gives him much more opportunity to steal bases. And if you've got Michael Harris on first and you've got Acuña, Olsen, Riley, those 3 guys all in a row, and Harris can steal second or even third at any given time, that just makes those guys much more dangerous, because now you're putting him in a position to where they can drive him in and get RBIs.
And we need to get runners in scoring position.
Yep.
Because today, we did not 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position.
0 for 2.
That means we had 2 counted at bats with guys in scoring position.
Yep.
Now, there was more because there was a Nick Allen sac fly. But
Yeah,
2 at bats counted.
Yep.
With runners in scoring position today.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I mean, today looked okay to begin with. 3 of our 7 hits came in the first 2 innings.
Yeah.
3 of our first 2 7. So in the last 7 innings of the game, we got 4 hits.
And if you take from our 8th position around to our 4th position, those 6 guys in a row combined for a total of 3 hits today.
Yep.
That is, we had 6 hits today total. Not good.
7.
But
7 hits.
was it 7?
Pretty sure it was 7.
May have been 7. It was 7. You're right. We had a total of 7 hits today. The Padres beat us 5-3. They only had 9 hits. But this gets back to the point I made earlier about quality hits. Now, yes, the Padres hit 3 home runs today.
Mm-hmm.
Home runs are quality hits because they produce a run. Yes, you can get all the hits you want, but if they don't produce runs, they're nothing at this point.
Yeah.
Baseball,
Name the game is scoring runs.
Yeah, scoring runs, not how many hits you get. Because you can go up there and score 6 runs and only have 6 hits if you hit 6 homers.
Yeah.
You can go up there and score 0 runs and have 12 hits if they're all singles. Score 0 runs.
Yep.
It's all about the quality of the hit and when it happens. If you're getting hits with 2 outs, yeah, you're getting hits, but it's not scoring anything.
Yep.
You need hits when you got a leadoff guy or somebody on second, on first, somebody to move. It's like we were talking about in the bottom of the ninth. We were down 5-3. Riley was up. I was like, honestly, as cool as a home run will be right here, I'd rather him hit a double.
Yeah.
Because then that gets, okay, now you got a guy on second, and like you said, the guy at the plate now has a vision in his mind of the job that he's got to do.
Yep.
Hits produce hits. Runs produce runs.
Yep.
I would have, and that's the point I'm getting at. You got to have quality hits to win ball games. Because hits alone aren't going to win it if they're not producing runs.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, and continuing to talk about the 11-game history that Ozzy's been on, he had 2 doubles today.
Now, one, he did get thrown out at third, trying to stretch it into a triple. But that was just a great heads-up baseball IQ play by
Arise.
Arise, yes.
I think Arise cut that off.
Yeah, he saw the play unfolding and ran over to cut a ball off that was headed for home to throw him out at third.
Yeah.
It was just great heads-up baseball. Ozzy saw that, hey, this throw's going for home. This gives me an opportunity to get third.
Yeah.
He had a great play, or high baseball IQ to make it. But
and they didn't
made a better play on it.
And they didn't field it cleanly off the wall.
No.
You can go back and watch the video. It was honestly, and to back up a little bit, it was 2 foot from being a home run.
Yeah.
It hit off the top of the brick wall in right center field. So, I mean, he was that close to getting an extra run on the board. Austin Riley scored on the play from first base. They didn't field it cleanly with Ozzy's speed. Do I like him trying for third? Yes. I like him going for third. I like him trying to stretch it. Because if Arise does not come into the ball the way he did and cut that throw short,
And have his momentum carrying him to third.
He's there. If he doesn't make a perfect throw, he's there. So taking a chance on that, coming from the right side of the field with his speed, I like the aggressiveness. It just didn't work out.
No.
I mean,
we like the call.
When you're aggressive on the bases, you're not going to be safe every time.
No.
There's a difference in being aggressive and being stupid. I think that was an aggressive base runner play.
And sometimes you just got to force them to make a play.
That's right. And they made the play. And you got to tip your cap to them.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It's kind of like Harris in center field. We talk about it all the time. Some of the plays he's made this series, we're just like, most people be like, let's go. Get excited. That's just Harris's routine for us at this point.
Literally caught one day on Jackson Merrill, and Jackson Merrill himself kind of gave Harris a little grin running back to the dugout. And me and you were sitting there like, had he dropped that, I'd have put that as an E8.
Nah,
I mean, that's routine at this point for Michael Harris.
Yeah,
he's
diving plays are just routine at this point for him.
He's the best center fielder in baseball, and like Ethan always says, argue with a wall.
Exactly.
He's the
argue
best
with a
wall. But Schwelly looked really good on the mound today.
Yeah, 7 innings pitched, 7 hits, 4 runs total, but only 2 of them were earned runs. And me and Bailey have racked our heads around this, trying to figure out how only 2 were earned. Because Merrill hit a double and scored a run in the first inning.
Machado hit a double.
Machado hit a double, scored Merrill. That's what it was. First inning. Then he gave up a homer, gave up another homer. And then he gave up a homer, Let me restart, because I confused myself. Machado double, Merrill scored. Then he gave up a homer. Then guy got on first by a throwing error by Austin Riley.
Fielding error.
No, it says throwing error.
Was it throwing error?
Scored as a throwing error. He gets on first. Schwelly gets the next 2 guys. And then Sheets comes up and hammers one into the chop house. So there's 2 runs scored on that. One obviously isn't credited to Schwelly because he was on because of an error by Riley. But the home run should have counted against him.
I would think.
And it should have been 3 earned runs. But we're thinking that's where that run wasn't credited. We can't find nowhere that says what was credited and what won't and why things weren't credited. But either way, that run was credited to him or not, that would have been 3 earned runs, and it was still a quality start by him.
Yeah.
Because it would have been 3 earned runs total.
Yep.
Every pitcher had a quality start this series. And then
Bullpen gave up what? 1 run this series? 2?
Yeah.
1 on Friday, 1 today?
Yes, that's all they gave up. Iglesias gave up, and Dylan Lee gave up a homer today.
Yeah.
The dude hit it backside.
He just hit it. It was Machado.
Yeah.
I mean, he's hit 5 home runs this year, and 2 of them were this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's seen the ball pretty well. He's Manny Machado.
And
Good
then
for him.
PJ came in, finished it out, only giving up 1 hit, struck out 2, no walks, nothing.
I mean, our bullpen threw 7 innings this weekend against one of the most potent offenses in the major leagues, and they gave up 2 runs. Both of them were home runs.
Both of them were home run.
I mean,
one by a guy who we knew was going to do it. We called it before it happened.
both of them.
And then
They're both by Manny.
no, I'm talking about the pitcher that gave it up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But also, speaking of calling things, I would just like to point out that Friday at 11:39 in the morning, I texted Bailey and I said, Acuña leadoff home run loading.
Yeah.
And he did it.
He
I
did.
would just like to say I called that.
He did call that one. That was pretty good.
And then Dylan Lee, I mean, at that point is what it is. We're already down 1, put us down 2. Either way, it's not like we scratched or run across.
Yeah, so it'd been a 4-3 loss anyways.
Yeah. So that's not on, I don't really hold him too much to that.
Yeah. But, I mean, the good thing about this series, though, is like I just said, this is one of the best offenses in baseball. Now, the Padres have been on a little bit of a skid.
Yeah.
They've lost.
They had lost 5 in a row going into this series.
So they've lost a lot of games. They haven't been hitting well. I think before today they have been outscored by their opponents 47-12 in the last 8 games.
Ooh.
So they haven't been producing well, but we know that they're one of the best teams in baseball. But for our pitching staff to throw the way they did this weekend, 7 total runs given up in 3 games.
And 5.
No, I'm sorry, 8 total runs. 2 Friday, 1 yesterday, 5 today. 8 total runs. That's less than 3 runs per game.
And we should have beat that.
We should have beat that 100%. We should, at minimum, have gotten 2 wins this weekend.
We scored 11 total runs this weekend.
Yeah.
And lost the series 1-2.
Yep. So what I'm getting at is I think we've established that our rotation is throwing well. Our rotation is going to be good for the duration of the season. Our bullpen has been great. We've got Scott Blewett, Dylan Lee, Pierce Johnson, Daysbel Hernandez, all who have sub-3 ERAs in the bullpen. We've got Aaron Bummer and De Los Santos, both sitting around 3.5. Both still respectable 3 ERAs. And then Montero and Iglesias, both been really the only 2 that haven't been consistently good relievers.
They've been the outliers. The one thing I was happy about is we did not see Montero one time this series.
Mm-hmm.
Which to me shows that they at least can see that, okay, hey, he's not been good for us out of the pen, so let's not go to him unless we're in a game where he's basically the designated loser.
Yeah.
As terrible as that is to say, that is a true thing in baseball where bullpens have a certain guy that only throws in games where they know they're going to lose.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think the issue is the pitching staff.
It's not the pitching staff. It is clear as day. It is the hitting.
So, I mean, how do you fix that? How do you fix the hitting? How do you fix the lack of manufacturing of runs? You've got 5 guys who are superstars.
Well,
6 if you count Baldwin.
Well, when we just get guys on base, we have to quit playing long ball. We have to play small ball. And we're not doing that.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I'd like to see a little more small ball earlier in the game. If you know that your pitching staff is going to keep the game of your opponent's 5 runs at most, let's play small ball.
If you're coming up and you get the leadoff guy on, and the next two guys due up, next two guys due up had 0 hits on the day, or didn't get hits at all the day before. Say, okay, well, right now they're obviously not hitting. Let's try to get this guy over. Bunt him over.
Get him over, see what happens.
See what happens.
But they may throw the ball into the right field bleachers. You never know.
No.
When you're a team that your pitching staff is pitching well, they're limiting runs, but you're also a team that's struggling to score runs, you have to find a new way to manufacture those runs. Because you can't just sit around and wait for your offense to wake up and start scoring runs, because then it's mid-late August and you're 13 games back and you're 8 games behind the wild card. Then that's a little tough to catch up to make the playoffs. You've got to manufacture runs any way possible.
We've got to play like every run matters. We're not sitting there with a 7 games ahead of second place. We're not even in the hunt for the wild card right now. We have to figure out a way to manufacture runs.
Yep.
And that goes all the way back to what we were talking about earlier. That starts with Snitker and the managing, which has been absolutely terrible. Terrible. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Brian Snitker has not done much for this team this season in helping win games. He has just kind of sat back with his arms folded across his chest and joked around with Ryan Kranitz and Tim Hoyle.
And just waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, just waiting. And then he'll be like, oh, hey, I'm the manager. I need to do something. Let me pinch hit a guy real quick.
Yeah.
Let me pinch run a guy real quick.
Even though it's the 6th inning.
Yeah. What are we doing? Oh, hey, I'm going to do something. I'm going to pull a guy, a major league pitcher, with a 2-0 count like we're playing Little League.
Yeah. And like Ethan just said, you play like every run matters. Well, for the Braves season so far, every run does matter. Because there have been a lot of one-run games. Whether we've won or lost, we've had numerous one-run games. 2-1, 4-3, 5-4, 3-2. We've had numerous games that have been decided by one run. So if you know that, you know that the other team's not going to score a lot because your pitching staff is good, and you know you're not going to score a whole bunch because your offense is struggling right now, go into that thinking, okay, if I get a guy on second base with no outs, unless you're Marcell Ozuna or Ronald Acuña, you're bunting. You're bunting with no outs and a man on second base. We're going to get that guy to third with 1 out.
4 of our last 5 games have been decided by 2 or less runs. 2 of them being 2 runs, 2 of them being 1 run. The only outlier was our 7-1 win yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So if y'all want to tell me runs don't matter, we're losing close ball games that we shouldn't.
Oh, well, why don't we go back to that 17-day in a row stretch that we had? And what was it? We had 9 one-run games?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay. So in 17 games.
12.
Okay, excuse me. So we had 12 one-run games in a 17-day stretch.
19. Because I'm going to take you all the way back to the Colorado series.
Okay.
The final game of the Colorado series.
So
12 one-run game in 19 games.
So
straight.
Runs matter. Right. That's
Runs
what we're getting at?
Matter.
Yeah. Yeah. Start going back to the idea of let's not try to beat them with the long ball, and let's try to win as a team, bunt guys to third with less than 2 outs, or less than with 0 outs essentially, with no outs and a man on second, bunt him to third, give the guy hitting with 1 out a chance to hit a weak ground ball backside or a fly ball to score that run.
Yeah, deep fly. If you get a guy lead off double, bunt him to third, because any kind of hit scores him or a deep fly ball scores him
every time.
As we have just pointed out, 1 run matters. A singular run matters.
Yep. You can't sit back and wait. Like I just said, you can't wait for the day for the offense to wake up. You can't just expect the offense to start clicking one day. You have to find a way to win with what you got, with what you're working with what the offense has been doing. And me personally, I don't think Snitker's doing that right now.
He's not. Not at all.
I don't think he is. I think it showed on Friday, Thursday, when you've got a man on second starting extra innings with no outs. And yes, Drake Baldwin has been hitting well, and if he hits the ball in the gap, we're singing praises to Snitker. Not really, because that would be all on Baldwin. You put a man in the box, you expect him to hit the ball. That's not anything Brian Snitker would have done. But if you put Drake Baldwin in the box, and you say, okay, you've been hitting good, but right now this is for the team, you're going to lay down a bunt and get him to third. Then we're going to sing praises to Brian Snitker.
Because that's Snitker.
Because that would be the right decision, in my opinion. And I just don't think that Snit has been. I don't think he's been putting the team first. I think he's just been putting just. I'd like to call it data, because I mean, if you got Drake Baldwin with how well he's been hitting the ball, yeah, you'd like to see him get hit. But essentially, a 340 hitter is a great hitter, but at the same time, a 340 hitter still gets out 66% of the time.
And the only time he has called bunts are pinch hit bunts. And two of them were Arcia, who, as of Friday, was DFA'd. As of today, was released.
Yeah.
Popped out to the pitcher twice. She just wasted a guy.
Yeah.
Took a guy out of the game to let a guy in to bunt who can't bunt.
Yep.
And wasted an out. And wasted a player.
I think Arcia being DFA'd was kind of a long time coming. I think we both saw that coming today, being released.
That's been brewing since the 2023 playoff series against the Phillies.
Oh, yeah. I don't hate it. I don't think there was a whole lot he was going to bring to the team this year.
Not at all.
So
he just doesn't have a team attitude.
No, not in my opinion. And obviously your opinion either. But in both of our opinions, I don't think he's got a good team attitude. I don't think we'll be missing a whole lot. I think he played well for about 3 months in 2023 when he was an all-star. And then, yeah, that was about it. So I think it's safe to say that Nick Allen's won the starting shortstop spot for right now. But kind of going on that, obviously run support is what we're missing. So do you think that premier elite offensive shortstop is what we see Alex Anthopoulos go after as the season continues?
Maybe so. I don't like the call.
You don't like it?
No, I do not, and I'll tell you why. Ozzie Albies and Nick Allen have a combined 2 errors between them. 2. We're gaining 52, and they have a combined 2 errors between them. We got a shortstop batting .250. Honestly, he's one of our higher batting averages in our lineup.
Yeah.
I'm not going to trade 30 more points for a guy batting .280 for a lesser glove. When we have... Now, Acuña just got back and he's batting .333 as of today. But we've got Ronald Acuña. We've got Matt Olson, Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, Michael Harris. We've got guys that are known to hit the ball and hit a baseball hard. And they're not doing their job. One guy, one bat isn't going to change everything. Yes, it could help us get an extra run here or there. But if that guy comes in and is not hitting well, then you've just taken out the best defensive shortstop in the league who's batting pretty good for a guy to try to help us get a run that's not getting us a run. So to me, I don't like the call. I would rather keep his glove in there and tell our guys that are supposed to be hitting the ball, hey, pick it up.
Yeah. Because, let's be honest. If Austin Riley, Michael Harris, Ozzie Albies, Marcell Ozuna, Matt Olson, if those guys are hitting the ball and we're...
Oh, yeah. Completely forgot about Ozuna. Him, too.
If those guys are hitting the ball better than what they are now and we're winning more games, then we're not even talking about the shortstop trade.
No. You
might be hinting at it just because that might be a nice addition, but you're not talking about it as a necessity.
No.
So with Nick Allen making 1 error this year, you're going to take him over Bo Bichette making 5 errors?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And that's at me looking at everything in a bubble right now. Because Nick Allen obviously hasn't proven himself over a 162-game season.
Right.
I'm looking at it as in a bubble of the first 52 games this season.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as the year goes on and the games start to pile up and your body starts to get a little tore down and wore down from the grind that is the MLB baseball season.
Yeah.
Or MLB baseball is redundant, but the MLB season. Then maybe we look at it, okay, he's starting to slack on the bat and he's starting to make more errors. Then I'll revisit that, relook at it and say, as we get closer to trade deadline, okay, maybe it is advantageous to chase this guy.
Yeah.
But as it sits right now, in the 52-game bubble that we're in right now,
mm-hmm.
I wouldn't trade Nick Allen for anybody. His bat's good enough to be where it is. He got an RBI today.
Sack fly.
We're
talking about situational hitting.
Yeah, he got a sack fly.
Man on third, less than 2 outs. You have one job. The infield was in. We were watching it. So a weak ground ball does not get that runner in. Deep fly ball to center field. Not only did he score a run, a guy got from second to third base.
Mm-hmm.
So he did a job. That's what you want.
Yeah.
So
why would I take somebody who produced a run for us today like he was supposed to do?
Yep.
And the best defensive glove at shortstop in the league.
Yeah.
I'm not making that trade.
Yeah. And you also have to think about the when you make that trade for someone like Bo Bichette, you're trading away to a future pitcher or a future fielder.
Yeah.
If you hold on to Nick Allen and give Nacho and Alvarez a chance to come up and show us what he's got, well, since you're not trading for anybody, now you're holding on to those future pitchers, those Cam Caminettis, those guys, Dylan Dodds, your guys that are in the minor league system who can help you years from now. So it's not just thinking about this year, it's thinking about the future as well.
And potentially we could still get Bo Bichette in the offseason, not get rid of nobody.
That's right. Toronto, they're battle like the Braves. They're 2 games below 500. I don't know that they're going to be looking at a playoff picture this year. Yankees are playing very good baseball. There's a lot of good teams in the American League, so the Blue Jays might not be making the postseason. So there's a good chance we're going to see Bo Bichette on the trade block this year. But overall, I think we'll see him. He's going to be the big name in the offseason looking for a free agency contract. But we still got a lot of baseball to play,
and we're 3 games into Acuña's return. So he went 4 for 12 in the series, 2 homers.
Yep.
So it was a shining moment in a very dark series.
Yep.
But we are still hopeful, and we think hopefully against the efforts of our manager to not help us, the boys can figure it out and get us back on track.
Yep. We got going to Philadelphia on Tuesday, start a 3-game series with the Phillies. So that's a big series. That's a big division rival, a team that put us out of the playoffs 2 years in a row in 22 and 23. Anytime you go to Philadelphia, that's tough.
And we get to actually see Strider on the mound for the first time this year.
Yep.
Because the first one was a day game, the second one was national, so that was blacked out.
So that's going to be fun to watch. Hopefully we can get a big series win, get on track, go into June rolling, and just keep playing good baseball. I mean, hopefully the bats will come alive. Hopefully the pitching will stay where it's at. Defense is going to be where it's going to be. And maybe, Snit will start making some good in-game decisions, and we'll just hopefully just try to climb our way out of this hole that we're in. So, you can only be hopeful.
Can only be hopeful. Well, we appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, follow us on all of our socials. But we appreciate y'all. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Go Braves. Appreciate it, guys.